Good morning. Thank you for joining us today to hear all of the plans that we have set for Welcome Week 2021. Candace and I have been working diligently to provide an engaging series of programs and activities for our new students. And so we will just jump right in. We are aware that all students have to now wear masks, and so we'll be promoting those details and providing masks. We'll have some masks available at the different events that we have planned.
Yeah, at this time, they have not called for a need for social distancing, so we do not have a social distance floor plan in place for our large event spaces. We're just kind of trucking through with the current precautions that are in place, and we'll pivot as needed.
And so Welcome Week begins September 3rd, and it will be ending on September 6th, which is Labor Day. Some students will be moving in on Friday, a large group of students, and then Saturday, the next group. Sunday, just a few transfers. Sunday, commuters will be invited to attend Welcome Week programming. And then Monday, all students will be expected to come to Spirit Day. Now, on those students who come on Friday, they have a bunch of optional programs. The educational mandatory programs will begin for that group of students on Saturday.
They start the night that they move in.
Yes, and then with True Life. But Saturday will be all of the other educational mandatory programs. For the group of students who move in on Saturday, their programs, educational mandatory programs, will begin on Sunday. And you'll see that in the next slides. So as has been done in the past, we will provide True Life. We are incorporating a new program, which is going to focus on the hips. And that will be facilitated by Nordia. Stacy will do her consent program. What's in Your Cup is our alcohol program, which will be facilitated by student conduct. Diversity program will actually be facilitated by the faculties, Donnie and John. And our Spirit Day, which has become a new tradition.
We are also including a debrief. So after the day long of educational events that these students will attend, they'll have a small group debrief that'll be led by the Talons and or RAs, depending on which day it is and the amount of students that we're working with.
And as you can see, all of these details are listed on the website and have been made public. And so the evening social programs are typically when all of the students come together. We have a spaces mixer for a small group of students and who come in on Friday. Whose line is it anyway? Think Fast Trivia, movie night, play fair, which is a bunch of large scale team building activities. Our set party, that's the Stockton Entertainment team, and some volleyball and basketball that will take place.
I think the easiest way to kind of process the concept of like the Welcome Week schedule is a little bit similar to how we functioned for orientation, where we kind of, for the overnight, we had day 1 and day 2 schedule, because that schedule for each group of students starts on whatever day they move in. So we couldn't necessarily write it down of like, oh, on September 4th, these are the events that are happening, because we're going to have 2 different groups of students going through 2 different schedules at the same time. So So that day one schedule starts the day that the students move in here. And really, although we have optional events during the afternoon there, we recognize that those students who are moving in may not, opt in to participate in them, but we still wanted those to be available, just in case there's someone who moves in at 8 a.m. and has nothing to do all day long, that we could kind of start engaging them right away, and building those connections with their peers and faculty and staff.
We've also opened up the programs like the yoga, the salsa, the wellness fair to our sophomore students who have been asking and inquiring about programs to help with their social engagement and networking with their peers, because we imagine that the new students, first year students and transfers who move in may not attend those optional programs. So we've offered it to our sophomores as well, second year students.
So each group, after they move in, will kind of kick off by having dinner and go into their Res Life meeting. That Res Life meeting will be run by their RAs or Res Life staff, and then they'll get escorted right over to the PAC for True Life 101. And that really kind of then kicks off their mandatory information that they need to be familiar with right off the bat, and will lead them into their social programs that start that night. The day two schedule of events. So this is the first full day that student will be on campus, right? They moved in yesterday, they went to the evening events. Here's their first full day schedule. They'll start it out with breakfast. We'll give them a quick 15-minute kind of introduction to that welcome week schedule and friendly reminders. And then we dive into those educational sessions that Dr. Edmondson had mentioned earlier, really letting our staff kind of take the limelight there with their very intentional presentations. So they start with Dr. Johnson's high impact practices presentation, shift over to consent. They have a lunch break that happens, and then they dive right back into the what's in your cup and the diversity sessions. Right after the diversity sessions end, we'll be shifting them into those small group debriefs that we mentioned. And then that'll kind of help them transition into dinner, into some social programs for the evening. And the fun part is that really once we hit September 4th, kind of all of the first year residential students are anticipated to be in by that point in time. So those large scale social events that are going to happen are going to see a lot more students starting that second day.
So on Sunday is when, as Candace mentioned, all of the students will, the students who moved in on Friday will be able to attend these programs on Sunday. So they can attend the beach, enjoy some time, some relaxation at the beach. Then there'll be some meditation session facilitated by one of our talents who's trained and certified. We'll be promoting the men's soccer game and some evening social programming where all of the students will be able to come together.
You'll see, so this Sunday schedule, it is exclusively for those who moved in on that first September 3rd date. Because it's a 2-day program in terms of their educational sessions, they're the only group that has kind of an additional 3rd day. So this is really kind of a filler for them and just an extra list of social opportunities for them to be able to build in, while the commuter students and the students who moved in on September 4th are all going to be in Big Blue doing their rundown of those educational sessions.
Monday is when they all will come together. And so this will take place in Big Blue, where we will have a pep rally before our speakers, the Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Ketching, the Provost, the Vice President of Student Senate will all come and speak at 10:30 a.m. But the pep rally will take place before then. So we'll have a DJ, we'll be giving out t-shirts. We'll have our spirit walk after the presentations and speakers. And then during that lunch period, between 12 and 3, we'll have the after party with student organizations sponsoring different type of activities, inflatables.
We've got a
And it's,
DJ.
what'd you say, Candace?
DJ.
Yes, DJ will also be there. So similar to what we used to call the Osprey Fest in previous Welcome Week. And also the Sankofa Men of Color Retention Initiative will be hosting a welcome reception between the hour of 1 and 2. And that actually concludes Welcome Week programming. And here are some additional information. We have already confirmed that the shuttle services will be scheduled and operating. Meal plans have already been confirmed to start on September 3rd. Our commuters will be receiving their IDs when they come
Sunday.
on Sunday. What we're requesting of you is to support with event swiping as we've done in the past. And lastly, as I mentioned,
We'll send out a call for any volunteers to be able to help with some of the swiping for those particular events. There's some events that we're going to be swiping at the beginning of, and a couple that we'll be swiping at the end of, just depending on kind of the flow of that day, since we have a couple that are back to back.
thank you. And lastly, as I mentioned in like the beginning slides, is that we will not only offer some of the programming, some of the optional programming to our second year students, but we are also planning second year programming, like a welcome back programs in the first week of the semester, and also some academic and educational programming throughout the fall semester.
I think we have gotten a couple questions of sophomore students who did not come to campus last year, like physically, they stayed home the whole academic year. And so they've reached out with a couple questions of what kind of the expectations are of them during this welcome week period. And so in case any of you guys get the same kind of questions, you can feel free to point them to our website. We'll be releasing that second flight program schedule soon, but they are not expected to attend welcome week. They already had those welcome week sessions last year. So we'll provide social opportunities for them and some programs that kind of offer some friendly reminders for them, but they are not expected to attend Welcome Week. Welcome Week is simply for our new first year students and our new transfer students.